I knew it. Just starts. Once that light goes on, it doesn't.
I know.
I promise that come in for a sales meeting, we're gonna start right on time, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to end on time, but that's why we have Amberly in the back of the room. So, I wanna be respectful of your time, and if we have to do them.
So excited that we have to double play.
Yes, we're amped up today, we're super. So we have one more sales meeting for the month of April. That is going to be April 30th, and it is going to be with our amazing work liaison on actual guidance. She's going to be talking about her home equity trust that she does in her and grant business. And that will be in person, actually will physically be in person at portfolio. And yet we will have somebody here in Tampa facilitating and providing materials because we are going to do a workshop style.
Hey, Vanna.
Yeah.
Give you two guesses, and one is Amberly and the other is also Amberly, and we'll be facilitating. So you'll get the same experience at both offices, and I know my sound system a little bit better over there, so you'll have a much better experience with that portfolio we did the first time we did it. And then just as a reminder, we will not have one next week. We'll talk about what's happening in place of that. Okay. Okay, has anyone been tuning into the Lauren Lucas stuff? Yeah, oh yeah, are you enjoying those so far? Okay, awesome. Good, I'm so glad. Yeah.
How long do they stay? Because I've been watching the recordings. How long do we have access to them?
Oh, they are in Google Drive, so, it'll be internet.
Thank you.
So you'll have access to those recordings forever. We're super excited to have her with us. I don't know if any of you follow her on her social media, but she is in 50 plus cities this year doing what she's doing for us, but none of them have an 8-week program. So we are super fortunate for operating this infinite connection for providing that value to us. We are still doing the workshops every week, so you'll have everybody here doing it live, helping you with the content that she has covered. And then you'll also have me live over in portfolio to help you identify what your action items are, right? Moving on, Melissa De Maria is going to be joining us right after this, at 12:30, doing a financial mastery, the part 1 of a 3-part series. We got amazing feedback earlier this year when Bob Lindsay came in. We know that we treat your business like a business. The only thing that we got back was I wish it was more in depth, less high level. So we created a workshop series. So to get a lot out of that with Melissa, as you've never taken a class with her, and you will be just a level of Breakthrough 120. Who knows what this? Okay, Ken, tell me, what is it?
Sort of like Ignite, but for everybody, not just new.
Yeah.
agents.
It's like an Ignite and Bold put together. So Breakthrough 120 is our solution for having some new things like AI, social media, and business. So it is all around how you could add 9 transactions in 120 days. I highly recommend, no matter where you're at in your business, that you be in this room tomorrow from 12:30 to 2:30.
11:30 to 3:30.
Okay, you really got me there. 11:30 to 3:30. And also, there's so little that you ever do wrong in time.
I'll make our
11:30
head
to
bigger
3:30.
than it is.
I know, right? 11:30 to 3:30. Now, here's kind of how this is going to work. The Breakthrough 120 sessions are actually 5 classes, and we are going to be hosting them once a week in each office. Okay, so what that looks like is week 1 is just session 1. Week 2 is just session 2. So you have 3 opportunities to attend. So if you miss one, you can go to a different office and you can make session up. Okay. And then we're having in some daily accountability and things like that as well. So you get the full experience and you can get the best result. Any questions on anything there? So see all of you back. Ray Lane, does anyone know who Ray Lane is? Oh, and, of course you do. Tim, would you like to tell us who Ray Lane is?
He is one of the co-founders of the Busy Blondes, which
Yeah.
is an iconic team that developed in the LA area.
Yes, absolutely. So, she's actually going to be zooming in today to talk a little bit about what she's talking about next week. She's also going to provide, some questions, and she's going to ask you what you would like to see out of these topics. So she'll be in the last 10 to 15 minutes of her show. Jean and Michelle are doing their rounds on placing who knows the standard contract. Definitely take a picture of this. They have a couple of different sessions in the month of April. One is portfolio, one is in Tampa. Highly recommend if you haven't yet been, you should be in the room, your experience, your news, doesn't matter. It's a great opportunity. Maybe involving is using a version of Fuller Booster transaction for labeling and navigating buyers from EDA to closing day. Everybody should be in this room. Are we at capacity yet?
I don't believe we are, and if this is the reason we're not having a sales meeting next week.
Yeah.
Right? The importance of this class that he put together with Brian Forrester, top like clear letter office. And it's all about what the lender can do to help shore up your transaction, stopping financing issues, effective language to talk to your buyers, to make sure you're showing them the correct properties, make sure that they understand the whole process. Your EPA, if you never have an issue with commission and learning how to talk about the exclusive buyer program. So, we canceled team meetings so that you can go listen to Nikki. This is what a high level.
The other thing I'll say too is Raylene moved into our ALC retreat last week, and one of the first things she said was, you guys are such a gift, having the involved in your organization, which is absolutely true. But what some of you may not know is that Nikki, before the EBDA was expired, she was taking this across the country. She's been that a part of our training for a long time, but she's also like the KW person for teaching how to go up with this content prior to the state. Monthly market mastermind, we have Aubrey Daly coming into the Clearwater office next Friday from 10:30 to 12:30. Has anybody been in his market mastermind previously? Would you say that those are valuable?
Yes.
Yes, money, exactly. That's it. Career visioning. So if you are in the process of either making your first time or you have a team, you would like the opportunity to hire better, faster, and more efficiently. Career vision is coming up in our area. It is so rare that comes to Tampa. It's mostly something that you have to travel for. So if you are in the process of you want to make your first career, or you have it, you want to be more able to connect with your team, this is a great time.
Let me mute.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So we have our spring spectacular event happening for Tampa Properties. That is their Q2 event. Cindy, would you mind just giving us a couple highlights of the event really quick?
All right. Well, it's going to be kind of like a drive-through, and we're going to be also collecting items for. I can't remember the name of it.
Sloping collection for Metropolitan Ministries, small appliances, small furniture,
Yeah.
what do you like?
Yeah. So bring your things that you need to shred. So this is a great time, even if none of your clients, you're out there on social media, you're inviting them through text, calls, whatever you're going to do. You need to get this out to all your desks.
Who has done an event previously for their clients? Has anyone received business from the event? So for my friends on Zoom, what you can't see is the hands data. And when you have an event in town, continue to hold care and that works. Have you gotten business from the event? That's why we're bringing these database events to you, because we want you to have something easy to send out to your people, right? If you're a new agent going to get started, how you just got into the business, I absolutely love to see you. Spring shred spectacular event, you guys can take that for the people. Bring the kids, it's going to be super fun. It gives you a reason to talk to people that already know you and gives you an opportunity to give to them before you're asking them. So my portfolio, we have pivoted a little bit on our date. So we are going to be doing our two client event at the Vice for Residences in Clearwater Beach. The event is going to be flowers and flowers. More information to come. We just got the final details. We had such an awesome, fun thing happen where you guys got a little bit too big for our original location. So now we can pivot, move the date. So communication will come out tomorrow for that portfolio. So you have two awesome opportunities to invite your people and to develop better and more in-depth relationships with them. Melissa, you just came in. Would you like to talk about the amazing training that we're doing on May 7th?
Sure. You want me to come up there?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Like dislocated my kneecap.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
So working real estate agent, even if you're not brand new to the business, maybe you're trying to restart your career, or maybe you know someone that wants to start selling real estate. This class is about what is it like to be a real estate agent, and how do you get your business started, and how do you keep it going. It's new, it's all new material, based on a book written by Jay Papasan. So it's great material. Cynthia and I are going to teach it, and we're actually teaching
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
So what that means for you is please bring your friends. So anybody else who's in the industry, please invite them to this as well. Or if you have a friend who also is going to be open, that would be a great opportunity for you guys to work together. Brad B, Kimberly, would you like to say?
Absolutely. This has been a brainchild that I've been pitching to the ALC for quite some time, and we were able to roll it out this year. So for those of you who are new to our company who haven't heard of Red Day, this is our annual day of philanthropic giving. All market centers globally shut down for the day, and we go out into our community and do an individual community service project. We're doing 5 this year. So instead of one day of giving, everybody gets a community service project. It's like Oprah and the Cars. So our amazing events committee this year has helped put this together. So starting Monday, May 11th, this is our tentative plan. We're waiting on a couple of confirmations. Excuse me, a couple of confirmations from locations before we can give you a flyer with times and links. And this is what you can prepare for. On Monday, May 11th, we will be volunteering at Metropolitan Ministries. They have a cap on the number of participants. That is why we have multiple projects. We have such a large office. We want as many people to be able to participate as possible. On May 12th, very on brand for us, we will be volunteering with Habitat for Humanity, building a house that also has a volunteer cap. We'll be at Community Food Pantry on Wednesday the 13th. They have a volunteer cap as well based on the size of their location. Here on Red Day itself, on Thursday, May 14th, we will be doing a floral arrangement assembly line and delivering those bouquets to local assisted living facilities. And then on Friday, we're having a celebration social. So we can get together, hang out, celebrate what we've done for the week. And as part of that day's philanthropic giving is a peanut butter and jelly drive. We'll ask everybody to bring jars of peanut butter and jelly to our location, and that will be donated to a local elementary school food pantry to ensure that students have access to food over the summer when we don't have lunch programs. So we're really excited about this. Look for the marketing to make sure that you register for the event that you would like to participate in as soon as possible, because again, we do have caps on a few of those locations. You can participate in one day or in all days. We'd love to have you at the social at the very least to come celebrate that. If you are new to our company and you do not have a Red Day t-shirt yet, or you need a new one, you can scan the QR code up here. We'll get a shirt ordered for you. They're $15 and they'll go onto your office invoice next month. We have a cutoff for the end of the month for shirt orders. So we want to make sure that we get those in by next month.
And this is specifically for Tampa property.
Correct.
And then for portfolio, we did a variation of Red Day earlier in the year for schools school due to their school schedule, but we're also going to be getting on the day of Red Day with animal rescue. More information to come. We're finalizing go with them. But if you do not have insurance in portfolio, you can have a sales secretary and will their emerge. Coming soon, so congratulations, everybody. We are super excited to announce that we are getting the upgrade to your e-signature platform. How many of you, I'm kind of scared to ask this question, how many of you really liked dog food? Okay, great. Well, then you'll like that.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Are we going back?
No. So we are going back. There's an automatic save feature, so you don't lose anything that you're working on. You no longer have to remember to hit save like you did in DocuSign. You have an ability to save common clauses that you use, and there is no template needed. You can insert them at any time along the way in filling out the documents, the instruction clauses, the warranty clauses, termite bond clauses, etc. There's an MLS auto-populate feature, so you don't have to manually add in all of the info. Yeah, amazing, right?
We need 5 minutes.
You can save your own custom template. We'll do the office for you. And you have the ability to add guest users, so if you use the transaction coordinator, or like the document a lot easier. Increase team functionality, full ability for the rainmaker to see everything that their team's doing. So great for rainmakers, not so great for team members maybe. Roster sync with our market center, so there's no more email addresses here. I'm personally doing. Kimberly, tell us about the training schedule.
I know you heard we were moving and every single one of you clenched for a second.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
And now you're clapping. So, don't freak out. We've got a rollout plan for you. For our newer associates, congratulations. You don't have to learn something and then learn something new. For those of you who are attending Jumpstart tomorrow, we're actually teaching the first full round of Lone Wolf. So if you want to go get a preview of what that looks like, you're welcome to attend Jumpstart Clearwater tomorrow. And we've got a rollout plan for you for those of you who maybe can't make that. So there is a QR code here. It will link you to the slide deck that has all of those amazing features with a few more to kind of give you some information about what Lone Wolf is and how it's going to work within the command platform, and some instructions on how to actually connect it in the back end of your command account. I did it yesterday. I put a stopwatch on. It took me 47 seconds to create my account. I put 5 minutes on the slide. I really overdid it. So it'll be very quick and painless for you to get it connected. And yet we know some of you may want to have some help doing that or may have some difficulty with that. So next week, following Jean and Michelle's contract class here in the Tampa office, Ari Shaw from Transaction Protection will be here. I will also be in the room. And we're basically doing Connection Central. You'll bring your laptops in. We're going to help you get connected, make sure you have access to the platform, that everything's working within opportunities. And then starting in May, we're rolling out our full education and training schedule. Excuse me, got a little bit of dry throat today. So beginning in May, in Tampa, every Monday at 12 o'clock, we will have a full transaction walkthrough in Lone Wolf. So you'll bring your laptop in and we will walk through everything that you need to do to use the Transact system. One of the things that we didn't mention to you is nothing in command is changing. So you don't have to relearn your opportunities process or the transaction protection submission process. All of that's the same. So we're going to walk you through how to actually use the paperwork management system, send for e-signatures, get that into command, that whole process. So every Monday at 12, there will also be a weekly training that happens in Clearwater. We are working on the schedule for that. And in addition to the 2 training classes a week that you will have access to, we will also have a minimum of 2 2-hour Zoom open tech help blocks with transaction protection. So when you're in the system and you are working and maybe you hit a bug or you hit a snag or you forget where a button is, we will have a minimum of 2 time blocks where you can just hop on Zoom with them. And remember, they are highly accessible. So even if the Zoom room is not open at the time, you can pick up the phone and call them and they'll walk you through that process. And that will run from May to August with the same schedule. So you will have access to 2 trainings per week and a minimum of 2 open tech help Zoom rooms every week for 3 months, because DocuSign access will be removed from command in the middle of July. So we want to make sure that you are prepared for that. So 2 trainings per month through August. Hernandez and
So anything that we have active now flows out in DocuSign, and then anything we put under contract from today forward, we would need to.
that's a great question. Our goal is to have at least all of your listings being put into Lone Wolf Transact starting in May, and all of your buyer sides by June 1st into Lone Wolf. So we don't want you to run into a situation in July where you no longer have access to your DocuSign room. So we want you to learn this early so that there's no disruption. Melissa.
So do we need to get anything out of DocuSign?
Yes, you will have access to download those transactions. Right now they are working on a sync to make that easier for you. We'll have instructions for that coming soon.
Okay, and then how do we get training for our
We will have a Zoom training option for TCs and TVs. We can make sure that that is offered to the agent.
Can you give us a list of somebody who wouldn't be on our roster that would also need access to enrollment?
And who are we sending?
You can give it to me. And we'll make sure it gets over to transaction protection. That goes for our friends over at Portfolio as well. Get that information over to Brian. So he can make sure that we have a list of people that need to be invited to that. That Zoom will be only for people who are offsite. Everybody else will ask to come in person because it's a whole lot easier when you're having technology problems to have you here in person so we can help you press the button. What other questions can we answer about this transition? All right, so we're gonna see everybody next Wednesday at 1:30 for Connection Central, right?
Right.
Okay.
Amber, one quick, on
Yes.
your flyer that you got up there, Zoom options Tuesdays, so, but you said it's Mondays, all right, Mondays.
No, the training will be Mondays at 12 here,
Okay.
and then we will have a Zoom option with Ari on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Right now for Clearwater, it will be Susan Preston, who's also in transaction protection. We're working on her schedule. So she will be leading the weekly training in Clearwater and Zoom sessions as well. So we will, our goal is to actually have 3 to 4 per week. Right now we have 2 confirmed schedules for those Zoom training options.
Today is very announcement heavy. We want to make sure that you get your questions answered. We didn't want to drop this on you and then move on into something else. So please feel free to let us know if you have any additional questions. You can send any of us an email or a text or give us a call, and we'll make sure that you feel comfortable. Right. Now, without further ado, I have our incredible panelists, Jen Hernandez, Mike Hydorn, and Richard. Would you mind coming up in the?
And you have just to guess, Melissa's gonna help.
And Melissa Di Maria.
That's cool.
Oh,
Oh, we love a man with a plan.
Okay, we're going to go to this now.
Just stay away from the projector.
All right, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for agreeing to be on the panel. I know I gave you your questions so far, but you have so much time to prepare. Just kidding. Okay, wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and just get started with who are you? What type of business do you have? Do you have a team? Are you a single agent? And when did you suggest your first investment property? Were you an agent already? Did you do that once you started doing business? Tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get into the questions.
Disclaimer, anything I learned from these 2 over here, so. Jen Hernandez, I'm a single agent, working on leverage, have a lot. Been in business since 2019. And what are we supposed to say? When we had our first investment? Holy, 2020. Right away.
And you were in business at the time.
I Yeah, real estate 2019, first purchase delivered 2021, and we could, yeah, anyway, there you go.
Amazing. Richard,
Hi, I'm Richard. I'm not an agent, I'm a lender. And I purchased my first investment home in 2005 or 6, I can't remember. So, a long time ago.
wonderful. And then, Richard, thank you so much for providing lunch today as well.
Yeah. Of course.
What was that?
So Melissa Di Maria, I have been a real estate agent for my 21st year, all here. I'm one of the OGs, I feel like now, one of the old ones. We had our first investment property kind of by accident because it was left as an inheritance. It was my husband's grandmother's home. And that was prior to me starting selling real estate. And then we started purchasing in probably 2006, I think. And we own 11 right now. And I'm a single agent with a VA.
Mike Hiron, single agent, productivity coach. I been in the market in the business since 2014, all here. Bought my first investment property because I was the smartest guy in the room and didn't know what I didn't know in 2005 when they were doing all these apartment complexes, the condo conversions. So the property that I paid $150,000 for in 2005. In 2010, the same unit was selling for about $68,000. So obviously a savvy investor in that. But I hung on to it, and then so that's part of the story today. Is what's your long-term strategy? Not freaking out what's going on. My second property, I was an agent in 2019. I purchased a single family home, 4.5 blocks from my current home, and was a whole lot more strategic and thoughtful in that process.
The reason why we have a variety of perspectives is we want you to have a variety of perspectives. Some are newer to the investing journey, and some who have, a lot of customers and things like that. So we want you to get a well-rounded perspective today. That's why we have so many different perspectives and events here. So, first question, whoever would like to answer can start. Do you have a buy box? So, unlike my first transaction, do you have a list of criteria that you go through to see if the investment matches those, or do you just project like how Mike did?
Did not done.
I'm happy to answer that first. 100%. And I actually just talked to someone from the office yesterday about this, and every person is different. So that would be my first thing. But our buy box was that we did not want to purchase single family homes because I don't like roofs and I don't like yards and I don't like exterior paint. I just don't like all of that. I personally would rather pay an HOA fee and know that I don't have to do that. I can take care of it. So that was our very first criteria. And we have pretty much all townhouse villas.
Okay.
No comment.
All right.
So all townhouses, all villas, all maintenance free with the exception of 2, and those were the very first 2 that we purchased. But yeah, I mean, that's 100% for us.
So that's a big one for you. Is it all in the same location? What does that look like?
So no, we have 2 here in Carrollwood. We have 3 in Wesley Chapel, and actually we have 6 in Carrollwood. Sorry, we have 3 in Wesley Chapel, and we have the rest in Riverview.
Okay, so all in Florida.
All of ours are in Florida. Yeah.
I think it's important to this, when we get into this, we say, okay, I want to invest in real estate. One of the first questions you need to ask yourself is, what does investing in real estate mean for you? Do you want to do a fix and flip, or you buy and hold? Because if I'm, a fix and flip focused investor, my criteria is going to be vastly different than a buy and hold. I'm buy and hold, personally, and that's why I'm a sucker for block on slab. As Melissa said, be simple. She likes this townhouse, style. Beware if you're going to invest in condominiums, it's fractional ownership, and you are at the whim and mercy of different rules the association will do. So, I like I said, I'm a sucker for block on slab. how, if you are going to be a buy and hold investor, what is your strategy for buy and hold? Are you thinking you're gonna have the cutest Airbnb in town and make a ton of money doing that? Is the property located somewhere where you're gonna have high likelihood of keeping it rented on a consistent basis, et cetera?
I had two, literally one at a time. My training and experience and information came from Melissa when we were initially starting the process. And her box is townhomes, don't have to worry about anything. So we bought a villa. We fixed and flipped it and rented it. So it was long-term. I won't fix and flip again. My marriage survived it. My back didn't. We did it all ourselves. We did well, how we purchased it, the money we put into it, because we did a lot of the work ourselves because we can. Because you can doesn't mean that you should. I'll just put it up there. That was in Zephyr Hills. It was not a 55 and over community, but it acted like a 55 and over community. So I got so many calls, and we were managing it ourselves at the time. So we just kept getting calls and calls. Oh, there's a paper towel in the front yard. No, there's a toy in the front. No. So we 1031 exchanged that property to a property out of Tampa, because I find the market outside of Tampa cheaper. So now I am block slab in Gainesville, and literally made money on the sale of the villa here, and just put that money into that one up there. And that's a long-term hold. I've had the same renters in there since we did that. So my box is single family, concrete block bunker, no HOA. And I have a management company. Don't ask me the address. I can tell you, I'd have to look it up, but I have a company that manages it. I don't want to know if there's a paper towel in the front yard. You know, if I need to have the trees trimmed, I have a great management company up there. They have all the vendors around it, and they call us, well, hey, this needs to be done. Okay, it's in our, budget to do so, do it.
And one of the simplest, if you Google being a real estate investor, you're gonna hear ROI, cap rate, return on equity, blah, blah, blah. One of the things across the board here is the 1%. If you can't rent it for at least 1% of what you paid for, it may not be a good cash flowing property for you. And in the current market, current rates, that's a little bit harder to do. So you also have to figure what is going on in the market right now that will make it easier or more challenging for you to invest in it.
It's longer to get it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like a wild card with all your plans. The only thing, well, so I mean, I have a completely different approach. I look at lowering my tax liability and cash flow. So for instance, for me personally, I have separate 1099 income that comes in. I don't want to claim it. So what I do is I use that income to purchase a house in cash. And then I use the additional money to fix it up a little bit. And what that allows me to do is write off that entire income, so I don't have to pay any taxes on that. And then I look for certain areas. So
And if you get the, Brian, if you get the sound going on.
Near Spring Hill. So we bought 3 properties out there, hoping that obviously that would bring a lot of high-paying jobs. That's what we did. And then what I do after that, what we do, my partner and I, is we take out cash out refinances on the property, which means we get our money back and we pay no taxes on any of that, and allows us to buy more properties.
And that's extremely smart.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not a wild card.
Not well, but here's what I was saying about that, right? I don't know what your long-term strategy is with it,
10 years.
right? So and that's something that you always have to consider, is that what is your long-term strategy, right? When you're buying, if yours is 10 years and you're gonna get out and take your money, then you're gonna have great appreciation and you're building great wealth. I mean, that's incredibly smart. If you're looking to build retirement income, passive income that's going to last for a long period of time, it's a totally different play. You have to know what your strategy is going in, or your client strategy, right? What is it that they want it to do for their long term?
That's true. I mean, being 42 and necessarily thinking. Yeah.
Exactly, right. We started buying when I was 45, right? I'm 63, right? I'm looking for retirement,
Yeah.
right? So we gauged ours based on how much money we knew that we needed to have in order to not change our lifestyle.
Yeah,
And
the default,
the intention was behind this panel is to just show you the different perspectives, so that way you can go take the information that they're providing today, and then go develop your own criteria strategy to set. Up at the front, you'll see polls, the both polls, and we have some order forms for you as well. All of the things that they're sharing are strategies from that book as well. We're talking more long-term investment today than short-term fixed, because that's an entirely different ballpark to know how, right? So, continuing on, Richard, what should we know right now in this market about investing? And what does that look like as far as down payments? Like, what specific programs does Complight have in order to be able to help people do this? What does that look like?
So I think the investing game is getting really well. So prior, the SDRs were a big thing. Everyone went obviously conventional 15% down payment or requirement for investments. But Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac both kind of cap you out like in properties and mortgage. So if you were looking to have like a fleet at home, that's kind of impossible to do unless you pay them off, within a certain amount of years. So now we have DSCR options, which look at your yeah. So they look at it as a commercial investment, right? So there's no income needed. All it is asset verification, or you can mortgage any properties on DSCR at all if you want. And all it is the down payment, and we look at the cash flow. Are you making money on the fund? There's at least a 1-to-1 ratio on the mortgage. When the mortgage 5,000 and the rent 5,000, it's still looking close.
The property is qualifying.
Correct. It's all based off the income off the property.
It is a fabulous way to buy property. I had a client that bought 4 duplexes. So over $1 million in sales, right, in volume. And she made great cash flow on it and basically had $3,000. And it did not impact her debt to income ratio at all. So she was long as soon as she gets cash,
Yeah, only thing credit's used for is to make sure you qualify.
Right.
We don't do anything else to drop it.
Yeah, so if you don't think, okay, I don't have the cash, to start investing, that's an alternative.
It's a great alternative. It costs you a little bit more, but it's a great alternative.
And I was afraid to look outside of Tampa, but I came from higher ed. So I'm not afraid to rent to students. So I look at areas where like Gainesville, you have Florida, you've got Santa Fe, you've got Fire College up that way. And then the other area is military bases. So where there's always going to be, one of the concerns that we have is, do I have a renter? So if you don't have a renter, you're covering, if you don't, if you're mortgaging it, you're paying the rent on it. So I haven't had, knock on drywall, I haven't had a vacancy at all. So that's something to.
Yeah, and to that point, right? So how do you do that? Like I talked to someone yesterday. It's like, how do you figure out what the vacancy rate is? Use the MLS. The MLS rental will tell you that. If you're looking at a property and saying, this is a great investment, go look to see what is it renting for? What's the market rate, right? What are things rented for? How many are available to be rented? Because now that's your competition. And then how long is it taking to place a tenant? If it's longer than 30 days, you should just move on. Because if it's longer than 30 days, you're losing money and your profit will go out the door just like that.
And don't, when you're thinking about an investment property, don't think with the perspective of what you would do if this was the house you were buying to live. Okay, because if you spend, to make it super pretty and this and that, a tenant, a potential tenant is going to compare yours to another 3-bedroom, 2-bath with similar features, and what you spend a lot of money on, you're never gonna get the return.
100%. Yet, when you buy something, get it ready for a tenant so that you don't ever get those phone calls. Make sure the AC is up, it's running, it is not old. If you have to put new appliances in it, put new appliances in it. If it has carpet, take it out because you're gonna replace it. Unless it's brand new, you get it here, then you're gonna replace it. Put vinyl flooring down that you can't kill, you can't hurt, you can't warp, can't do anything to it. And then you don't get phone calls. Just don't. And have a handyman, have an AC person, have a plumber, have an electrician. That all you have to do is text them and go, here's my tenant information, go take care of it, send me a bill. They put their eyes on it. They say it's being taken care of, it's not being taken care of, and now you know if you have a problem. So have your vendors that you trust, that you don't have to be the one handling all that.
Or find a really great property management company and factor that amount that you're paying them
Yeah.
into your number.
100%.
Expect, hope for the best and plan for the worst, meaning have a reserve fund for when the
Something
AC
will
that
go
just
wrong.
went out of warranty
Yeah.
is going to die, or there will be a leak, or the tenant will do a midnight move out, or, so things like that. So you'll have reserves to withstand when something goes wrong, that if you're in this for the long game, something will go wrong.
But they also too probably not to expect any cash flow probably for the first 5 years. You know, so if you're looking to make money on your down payment and have to close, expect at least 5 years, you know, in positive territory.
We do have a speaker coming in to talk about the class that's coming, so I want to ask with this. He's not on it, okay. What is one thing or two specific action items if somebody wanted to start their investment journey that you would recommend?
Stay to 12:30 and come to the class that I'm teaching, talking about how to manage your money, to do half the money. And just identify what you want it to do for you. I mean, again, if you want to build wealth and generational wealth, you should be buying real estate. We started out buying property for cash flow. Yet when we look at our net worth today compared to what we spent on our properties, it has created truly generational wealth for our grandchildren. I mean, I just cannot recommend it enough. Really.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I do presentations for some clients looking for investments, and I show them how their down payment and cash to close, you know, might be somewhere around 20%, but over the course of 10 years, you know, if they're all in with $50,000 for down payment and closing costs, they could potentially turn that into $600,000 profit over 10 years, because your renter is paying your principal now. You have, I think, in over like 3.92% real appreciation. You know, so
Yeah, I mean, we bought properties at $65,000 all those years ago, and they're worth over $300,000. Yeah.
And I did, I mean, my first call literally, and I mean, how do you screen a tenant? I had no idea. So, there are
That's the other important part.
Correct. Screen your tenant. Just ask. There are plenty of, so that's why I caveat up here. I have one, all with unique experiences in it, but, don't be afraid to look outside the market here.
Always great.
And that was, mine would be know yourself and plan, you know, so if you don't have it in you to be a hotel manager, then don't buy and create an Airbnb. You know, if you, you're a little risk, averse, don't, think about where you're buying and what may keep you up at night, because, it will. I mean, there are times if you do something that makes you nervous at the beginning, it's going to continue to make you nervous. If you are more risk tolerant and say, okay, I'm all in on this, then go. And don't do what everybody else tells you you should be doing. Do what feels right for you, your finances, your family, and your peace of mind.
And I'm
Stay
sure-
for the class.
Yes, exactly. Stay for Melissa's class. And I'm sure that anyone who wanted to reach out to any of you, we'd be happy to talk to their personal information. we give a round of
Yeah.
applause? See, not that bad, guys, I promise. I always want to provide some sort of AI or social media tie-in to anything that we do. So I wanted to give you a couple of prompts that you can use to start your journey in investing. If that's something that you're looking at doing, or to analyze what you currently have as well. So the first thing is if you have never thought about doing this previously, I would recommend this prompt. So this is something that you can put into whatever language learning model you choose to use. And it's going to give you questions that you are going to answer, so you can identify what your build, buy box should look like, analyzing deals and how you personally, given your unique situation, can think and invest in. We'll send all of this out as well. Then we have two additional prompts. So once you've answered your questions and it's giving you some perspective, then we recommend this prompt. On the left-hand side, or my left, you'll see buy box prompts for building it out. Again, if you've never invested in real estate before, you're going to use that side. If you are already an investor in real estate, it's going to analyze your current buy box and tell you whether or not you are in the comfortable zone, or if you are have a little bit of opportunity, right? Like my pipeline first transaction, that analyzation would probably be a little bit different than his buy box now, right? So it's giving you two different perspectives, and as you continue to grow your investing journey, you can continuously be analyzed, right? And this is something that you can use for your clients as well. If they're working with investors, I'd like to help you put together your buy box with this investor. Let's take a look at what that looks like. And then hold or not, that was one of the things that a lot of our panelists are talking about is this something that you want to hold on to? This is providing you an example for if you had a specific property. This is the deal I'm looking at, here's the price, expected rent, mortgage, property management costs, all of those things. This is going to analyze the deal for you and tell you whether or not this is a good deal or if this is something that you want. And this is just, again, AI perspective. You should also be human in this and understand to be able to analyze your own numbers, but it does help as well. And then let's add in some social media. So does anyone know what is trending on TikTok, Instagram, and the other 20,000 social media platforms?
Waffle House fights.
That probably is. Speaking of is any financial connections or investing opportunities. So one of the ways that you could be a great fiduciary is not only your current that you want to is by going through your journey. If you don't have investment properties yet, you can still do this. I'm going to purchase my first investment property in 2026. Here's what I'm doing first. Bring people through the journey with you. You don't have to be an expert. You're just showcasing and documenting what you're doing. And I bet that will attract people who are wanting to do the same thing and wanting your perspective on what and how they can do. So there are three different types of posts that you could do. You could take any of these, put them into the AI platform of your choice, ask it to give you a video, it to give you a social media. Anything and everything that you can think of, you can just use these three pieces to develop a different pieces of content. So then again, you can do this fiduciary for the people who want to do this, for the people who are already doing it. That brings me to my piece. If you are already an investor, there are three different pieces that you can use to educate people on what our panel did today. What I learned, what not to do, how to be an emotional buyer, how to be a smart analytical person who identifies what my buy box should look like. Personal stories and an opportunity to relate to people through your experiences is what will never replace you in a transaction or you from anything that AI needs to connect. So the more you can use things like this to share what your personal taste is, the better you will be and the more of a fiduciary you will continue to be. Again, thank you so much to Richard for, lunch. Sorry, I lost. Yeah, we're super thankful. Thank you so much. My very good friend Ray Wade is on Zoom with us, and she's going to share a little bit about her upcoming class.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you great.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we're 2 for 2, Madison, huh?
I know, right? This had a lot of issues.
So some of you might have watched the video and you might already know about our day together, but I'll just clarify it a little bit. I'm teaching 2 classes for you next Tuesday. Super excited about it. The morning class is about branding. It's called Build Your Brand Without Breaking the Bank. It's a very fun, easygoing class. It has a real small manual, 5 or 6 pages. And it's very interactive. It's great for new agents, old agents, people thinking about agents, sometimes people in other kinds of businesses. And it's just how can you build your brand and become a household name, a household word when people think about being a realtor. The class will go somewhere till 11:30 to 12. Um, And depending on if it's a hot lunch, I'll make sure I end at exact time. And if it's not a hot lunch, it'll be somewhere in there depending on how much interaction. Uh, then we're going to have a sponsored lunch, which is wonderful. I usually start up again about 30 minutes into the lunch, give everybody enough time to check emails, return a phone call, use the restroom. And when I start back up again, I don't mind if people are still munching. The second half of the day is about building a team. I have 2 classes about building a team. Build a Rockstar Team Part 1, Foundational, and then I have Part 2, Advanced. Um, this is the foundational class. And that being said, as I told to your other group last week, I'll go wherever the attendees want to go. Generally, the first session, we go through how to be the greatest agent you can be by yourself. We say, are you being the best agent you can be? Because you have no business hiring people and leading people and having other people depend on you as part of their income source if you're not being the best that you can be. So it's really good for new agents, really good for agents on teams. And my promise to all of you is even if the agent never has a team, never wants to have a team, never builds a team, I promise they will leave this class with tricks and tips and strategies about how to streamline their business, be more leveraged, using systems, using some structure. So everybody always gets a lot out of it. The class officially goes up to level 4, but not into level 4. Level 4, of course, is when we hire agents and put them on commission splits on a team. The group last week seemed to think you might have a lot of attendees that are going to have those kinds of questions and want that kind of perspective. So I said, that's great. I make it very clear. In the beginning, I asked them, why are they here? What are the things that they're most curious about learning? What are their most important nuggets? I write them on a board and I'll go wherever your agents want to go. We will end for sure by 4 o'clock. So the people that have early morning appointments, child obligations, late afternoon appointments can still get in and out. And that seems to be helping attendance. Now that I've talked your ear off, excuse me, I woke up with a tiny cold. Now, tell me any questions you have for me or how else I might help you.
Tell everyone who she is.
Ray, could you give us a little bit more of a background of who you are?
My pleasure. I have been in the business for decades. I'm usually the oldest person in the room. I got my license in 1986. My partner and I joined forces in 1990. We were called the Busy Blondes. Keller Williams veterans will remember us. We were on stage more times than I can count. At the time that we were signed on to KW back in 2001, we were the biggest agent, biggest team, biggest group, biggest anything that Keller Williams had ever laid eyes on. So much so that Gary himself had been involved in recruiting us. We had multiple meetings with Gary. even though he's not our sponsor. And Gary also promised that when we joined, he had never seen anything like us. He wanted to prove his seventh level theory, and he said he would personally coach us and consult us to the seventh level. And if we were at, I don't know if we have just leadership on this call or top agents or new agents, I explain quickly what seventh level means, that you've built your business to a level where you have such great systems and great client base and great people under your wing, you can step away and step out and still receive a stream of income. So he kept his promise. He was our coach from 2002 to 2007. By 2012, we were pretty much transitioning in seventh level. In 2015, we sold our business for big six-figure money and overrides. I've been a master faculty trainer since 2009. I was one of the first bold trainers on the road from 2009 to 2011. And I'm also John Maxwell certified speaker trainer coach, which means I can present any John Maxwell material for free or for pay without permission. I've been certified. So sorry to talk your ears off. I know a lot about selling houses, and I know a lot about building a team and getting name recognition.
Okay, do we have any other questions or things that you would like her to cover in either of her two classes? So, we'll do today.
Thank you.
I hear a couple voices, but they're breaking up.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have any additional questions. You did a great job of explaining the content for next Tuesday. So we're just excited to see you at this office in this training room next Tuesday.
Great. And if anything else comes to mind, I know we're only a few days away. Catch me that morning. If you say, "Oh, there's agents on a team here and they're trying to do this or they're blah blah," if there's anything going on where I could shed a third party perspective unsolicited, just catch me before the class and I'll go anywhere. I'm not shy.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're excited to have you here on Tuesday.
I'm excited to meet you in person, Madison. You've been awesome. You're on the top of my list as someone that's been really courteous and really conscientious and, really wanting to make something of this event. So I'll see all of you Tuesday morning. Thank you again.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know Ray as well, he is the first trainer we've ever had in this particular training room when we opened. Correct?
Yeah, 13 years ago now. We can hold about 220 people in here, theater style with no tables, and we have 220 people in here, theater style with no tables for Ray. She is exceptional. So if you have not seen her present, this has a big fat cost of $0.00 to you. I would encourage you to be in the room, particularly for our newer agents. It's brand focused with $0.00 spent. So if you are looking to improve your brand, definitely be here at the very least for the morning.
And there are very few people who I would say you become better just by being around, and Ray is absolutely one of them. For those of you who really enjoy the well-being kind of style and energy, her and Ray are kind of the exact same style, energy, vibe. So we actually have quite a few awesome classes that we can kind of do to literally go from Ray to master faculty, which is the highest honor, to maybe well-being, who is also not that is a big deal. So you have lots of opportunities.
She is truly real estate royalty and is about as down to earth as you could possibly get, and is currently still coaching, so is very much involved in it.
I will also say that, we have a lot of trainers coming in or asking each in our offices, and she is the most communicative, is the most project to deal with. She wants you to get a lot out of the class. She will go, as she said, anywhere that you would like to go with these two topics, or even outside of these two topics that she is telling me that you would like to learn, she will share with you. So we're really excited to have her. I hope to see all of you for that class. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. I appreciate you spending your Thursday afternoon with us. We have lunch over here again. Thank you so much for this. We have Corolla.
And then I'll be teaching at 12:30.
Yes. Well, we're going to keep it at 12:32. So grab your food, come back inside. We, again, no, still in next, if you can bulletproof and still water. Awesome. Thank you guys.